TCI Sports High School Basketball Game of the Week. Tonight, it's the Oakland County Slam Dunk and Three-Point Shootout. Hello, everyone. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here from Troy High School, where, Joe, tonight it's the annual three-point slam dunk shootout, and boy, we've got some great names here.
Oh, yeah, and every year it always turns out to be a very exciting event. And in the three-point contest, some of the favorites didn't get to the finals. Dane Fife, Rashad Phillips, they didn't get out of the first round. So look for guys like John Mills, Scott Roper, maybe Mark Lovelace from Dondero, the guy putting threes all year. Maybe a dark horse would be Dan Mcgrath from Brother Rice because he's got the height, doesn't have to use his legs as much. And as we saw early on, and you see every year, later on in the night, the guys' legs get tired and they don't hit those shots.
Yeah, it's very tough hitting these three-pointers, as you will see. And the slam dunks, we get some big names there, too.
Well, yeah, you've got the top two players in Oakland County, the top two dunkers in Oakland County. Shane Battier from Country Day, Mike Chappelle from Southfield Lathrop, a senior going on to play at Duke. They're the two favorites. Keep an eye, though, on Ferndale's Elvin Jones. Elvin got the gym rocking. He got the only perfect score with an unbelievable alley-oop to himself. Bounced that thing almost to the ceiling. Those are probably your top three dunkers in the slam dunk.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting contest here to see between the three-point shooters and the slam dunkers. We'll be right back with all the action right after these messages. Stay with us.
I wrote a letter to TCI because of the kind service and the kindness that was given to me when we needed service. I'm a district manager for Family Dollar stores here in Detroit and Pontiac. And being a district manager over 16 stores, it's important for us to maintain good customer service day in and day out. If you don't give good service to customers, you don't maintain good service, you don't maintain a good company. And TCI, in my book, has certainly represented customer service to the nth degree.
On the Master Anglers, we bring you the hottest fishing action around the state of Michigan. From tips and techniques to advice and stories from the pros, the Master Anglers gives you the info you need to catch the big ones. Plus, it's just plain fun. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday nights at 8 on TCI Channel 63.
Welcome back to Troy High School. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here. And we've got the three-point shooters right now, the preliminary round. Let's take a look at some of those names, Joe.
Well, you see John Mills and Scott Roper with the top two scores, 21 and 20. Then you get down to Nick Sertic with 17. Mark Lovelace, we mentioned, from Dondero with 16. Brian Rapp, 15. Lionel Jefferson with 15.
And those two guys went against each other in the preliminary before that.
Dan Mcgrath, another guy with 15, a 6'7" guy. Kerry Rabine hit his last shot to get 14, the two-point ball, which not only got him in, it knocked four other guys out of it, including Rashad Phillips,
who we wanted in there.
Eli Johnson with 14, Jeff Wilson, Kevin Altenberg, and Lowell Boyle all with 14 as well.
Okay, now the rules for the three-point shootout. Let's take a look. 5 racks. Each player will get 5 racks, 5 basketballs per rack, 25 shots, 1 point per ball, but the last ball on each rack is worth 2 points, and you get a 60-second time limit.
Yeah, basically the same thing that you see when you watch the NBA contest every year, except there isn't a red, white, and blue ball or a gold, purple, and teal as they had this year.
Yeah.
But that last ball, whatever the last ball is, they make it a 2-point shot. And again, that's what Kerry Rabine used to get himself into the final.
And you talked about the strength of some of these players on the three-point shootout. They can tire towards the end of this, especially when they're trying to make that long shot at the top of the key. That one really wears them out, and then they're on the short end when they come back around.
It's theoretically all the same distance, but your legs, it's jump shots. And the 25th jump shot is harder than the first, and they used to always say that the big advantage Larry Bird had over Mark Price and Craig Hodges was he wasn't shooting jumpers, he was shooting set shots. And that's where I think Dan Mcgrath has a little bit of an edge because he's 6'7". He doesn't have to use his legs as much, but a lot of those guys are jump shooters anyway. We saw Shane Battier in the prelims, thought it would be an advantage to him, but he shot as much of a jump shot as anyone. He didn't get to this round.
Lowell Boyle and Kevin Altenberg to start us off in the three-point prelims. Then we'll go down to the finals, where we'll see 2 players shooting it out in the three-point contest. And you see Kevin Altenberg, the 5'10" senior.
And
right now,
we are not sure what it's for.
We are ready now. players try to get it off just right before he says go, and it does count. As long as the ball doesn't hit the rim before they start the clock.
And again, these are guys that aren't used to this sort of thing. A lot of times the timing can throw you off a little bit. You basically want to get through that third rack with about 28 seconds or so left. Both guys look like they're going to have a good shot at doing that. You don't want to take more than 10 seconds per rack because there is time between racks and getting your shot off.
Boyle with the edge right now at 9 points. Altenberg now hitting in this last one for 2, gets an 8 points.
And all of a sudden, Boyle getting a little cold on the visitor's side of the floor.
And
got himself up to 13, though.
Altenberg again hitting the last bucket, which is an extra point.
Boyle.
And now again.
Boyle got hot there at the end, though. Got himself up to 16. That's better than he did in the first round.
So Low Boyle, advances.
Well,
with 16, but we don't
know if he advances.
Right now he does.
Right now he's the leader in the clubhouse, as they say. Remember, the top 2 scorers, these guys, again, the old cliche that they tell you in the NBA when they're not shooting against each other, they're shooting against the whole bunch of them. You got to get one of the top 2 scorers out of this to get to that final rack.
Coming up next, it'll be Jeff Wilson and Eli Johnson.
Jeff Wilson from West Bloomfield. Eli Johnson from Oakland Christian.
Jeff Wilson. Good luck, gentlemen, in 3, 2, 1, go.
They're off.
So far, neither guy lighting it up on that first rack.
Tough time in the first round. Not as many hot shooters as we've seen in the years past.
Yeah, well, Eli Johnson hitting a few there at the end. Both guys with 8 right now. And again, the timing going real well for both of them. They shouldn't have a problem getting those shots off on the last rack. You see that a lot of times where they're just basically throwing the ball at the basket to try to get every shot off before the buzzer.
Johnson still with 8 points heading into the last rack.
And Wilson up to 13. Now 14 with the 2-point ball and a lot of time to set up, and gets it.
And the last shot for Johnson doesn't go. So another 16 points. And that will go to Wilson. So Wilson advances now with 16. And again, we're saying advances because they beat the...
Well,
they're the higher scorer right now.
And they just made an adjustment that he's got 17, so he is now the leader. So basically, the next guy to get 17 knocks Lowell Boyle out.
So right now, it's Wilson and Lowell Boyle with 16. Here we see the next contestants. Kerry Rabine. Again, we mentioned who hit his last shot to make it in, the last one to make it in. And there's Dan Mcgrath.
My sentimental pick because he's from my school. And Dan, one of the most underrated players in Oakland County this year, a guy that really came out of nowhere. No one knew who he was, and he ended up making first-team Class A all Oakland County by the end of the year. 6'7". Again, if he doesn't use too much of his legs, and he's not really doing much of a jump shot right now.
And he hits the first one. Both players do.
And now both guys go a little bit cold. Mcgrath now with 2.
Rabine with 3.
Now you get that shot on the wing, which most guys, that's their favorite shot.
These guys are going neck and neck here. It's 4 for Rabine, 3 for Mcgrath, and now Mcgrath hits his 4.
And the big thing there is just try to get yourself in a rhythm.
Rabine has got it. Hit 3 in a row, and now, nope, missed that one.
Mcgrath hit 2 in a row.
But he hit his last one. Rabine was for 2 points, so he's up to 9.
Mcgrath should be up to 10. I think we'll have to see if they adjust his score. I thought he just hit a 2-pointer.
There's a last shot for Rabine, missed that one, and he'll keep going here. 14 seconds and counting.
Both these guys have a chance on this last rack of getting up there.
Yep.
And Mcgrath at 14's got to hit 1. There's 15. This is his chance to move up. 16, and
he does it.
Mcgrath is the leader right now.
Mcgrath, consistency there, Joe. They were going neck and neck, and it turns out Rabine only came up with 12, so he's going to be out. But Mcgrath was consistent throughout.
Well, got hot at the end, and what were we talking about? The legs giving out, and the 6'7" guy having the advantage. of not killing his legs because he just doesn't shoot as much of a jump shot. It's more arms, and you can see it at the end. He actually got better as the racks progressed.
Going off. He's done.
And Kerry Rabine, we also saw during the football season, quarterbacking the Berkeley Bears.
Yeah. But Mcgrath on top on that one. As you see Rabine taking a seat, he'll be watching the competition now.
Knocks Lowell Boyle out. Now has Jeff Wilson, the guy on the bubble, as it were, as Mcgrath is, tell you, 18's not bad. 18 has, in the past, actually won the event. In 93, Adam McCarthy won it with a 15. And so far, the best score ever still comes from the very first year, Jasper Campo with 25. That also equals the NBA record, and it's just something. You think about that, that's missing, I think, maybe 3 or 4 shots, depending on how many twos you hit.
That's amazing. As he was really hot that year, and you remembered it, and it was a rhythm that he had going.
Yeah.
He just took the ball off the rack, and just had a rhythm going. Here's
Beyond
Lionel Jefferson.
Yeah, where do we know that name from?
And he'll be going against Brian Rapp from Rochester High School. Jefferson from Pontiac Northern.
Both these guys, these are the two that went against each other in the prelims. Now they're going against each other again. Both have scored 15 points. And Brian Rapp, the first guy to start on this side of the floor. Everybody else has been starting right. He started left. And again, that's just a matter of, which side makes you more comfortable.
Well, player tied at 1 now. Now Jefferson comes up with his second. And so does Rapp. Rapp hits his last one from the rack, and he got 2 out of that one.
Yeah, neither guy lighting it up at all right now. You got to get hot late. Rapp not putting a lot of legs into those shots either, so I wouldn't think he's going to be affected as the racks go on, and now he's starting to get a rhythm going himself.
Yeah, he hit the last one in the rack twice, so that's helped him. And he's up to 10 points as Jefferson is only at 3. And again, he hits the last one on his rack for another point, an extra point.
Yeah, he must have been watching those Larry Bird
Here he goes
tapes.
again. He's up to 14. He's in a rhythm. Got that one, and the last one will get him to 16, 17.
Well, that puts him in a tie, assuming that that's accurate, and better wait to make sure they don't correct it. That's got him tied with Jeff Wilson for the second best score. It doesn't affect Mcgrath yet, but if it were to come to that, and apparently 17 is the accurate score, if nobody else beats that, those two, I'm assuming, would have a shoot-off to get to the final.
Yep, so Rapp now coming with the second best score, tied at 17 with Jeff Wilson. Mcgrath with 18 leads the pack right now in the three-point competition.
Now we've only got 4 shooters left, and that guy right there, Mark Lovelace, we saw during the season, one of the top outside shooters in Oakland County. This is a guy who scored 49 or 50 in a game this year. And Nick scored 17 in the first round himself. All he has to do is equal that to at least get into a tie for second place.
Players have 1 minute to empty those racks. 5 racks, 5 balls apiece. Again, the last ball counts for 2 points.
Surdick, another tall guy at 6'4", again, probably doesn't have to use as much legs as some of the shorter guys like a Lovelace at 6 feet.
Both players at 1 now. Coming up with, a great number there.
Well, yeah, Surdick hit the 2 ball. Or
both of them really are starting to catch fire now early.
And that's something we haven't seen yet today is guys hitting them early. The guys that got hot like Mcgrath were hitting them late. Mcgrath along with Rapp both started hitting their shots late.
Lovelace is at 10 already. Surdick.
Lovelace hits a 2. He's up to 13, and all he has to do is keep his rhythm going, and he's going to get into the finals. He might get past Mcgrath, get up into the 20-point range.
There he is. He's at 15 already with 1 more rack to go. Nope.
Well, he's got to think what he needs here. He only needs to make 1 more now. He's got 16 to guarantee a tie. He hasn't done it yet, though.
Nope. May get this last shot off right here.
This puts him in for... that was a make or break. You make it, you have 18 and you knock the other 2 out. As it is, he's out by missing it. He's got 16.
Lovelace was hot, too. The 16 matches his preliminary score, but...
Surdick came down to 13.
Both of them were hot early.
All right, well now we've got our final 2, and they both broke 20. Scott Roper had 20. John Mills had 21. See if they can keep the hot streak going that they started in the preliminaries.
Yeah, these were our leaders in the preliminary rounds. And here in the semifinals, they are the last ones to shoot. Scott Roper there had 20 in the first round, and John Mills here had 21.
And Roper from Lutheran Northwest, 5'11". His nickname is Mullen because he's left-handed and he's got the flat top haircut. So I guess, you know, you figure out the rest. He's not quite 6'8", but everything else.
Yep. And we're off.
John Mills from Oakland Christian, also 5'10". Led Oakland County in three-pointers made with just under 4 per game.
Mills with 6 already and 7.
Roper just hit his second one on the second rack. Now he's up to 3. Can't get the 2-ball to go, and
Mills up to 10 already. 11 and still counting. He's got the rhythm right now, and he just won't miss. He's got the last one for 2, and he just can coast now. Basically, he's at 16 and probably will make it. 17. He will be in the finals with 18 now.
And Roper doesn't
He's on a roll. Look at this, folks. He's hot. 21 matches is output, and he's still going. The record is 25. Will he get it? Yes. The last shot. He's got it.
This is to break it at 27. He doesn't. That equals the record of 25 set by Jasper Ocampo. Now, Jasper did it in the finals, but there's your finalist there. He led him after 1 round. He leads him after 2.
John Mills with 25. Scott Roper with 16, and he's out.
Tell you what, though, Roper got hot at the end. He was down around 7 or 8 for the longest time, started hitting a few, and we got all caught up watching Mills. But, hey, as it is, John Mills and Dan Mcgrath are your final 2.
Yep. So John Mills and Dan Mcgrath will be shooting it off for the three-point contest. We'll be back with more exciting action here at Troy High School right after these messages. Stay with us. If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
What TCI is looking to do is we're looking to be a full-service provider, a one-stop shopping place, if you will. We're looking to provide all the services that anyone wants to consume in the area of communications, whether that's cable television, whether that's telephone, whether that's data, online services. Our goal is to be able to provide all those through one avenue, and that avenue being TCI.
And welcome back to Troy High School for the finals now in the three-point shootout before we get to the exciting slam dunk competition. And our 2 finals, John Mills and Dan Mcgrath. And Dan Mcgrath from Brother Rice has got some big competition here with this guy right here, John Mills.
John Mills, again, we mentioned before, led Oakland County in three-pointers, making just about 4 per game. And, he had 21 in the first round, the top scorer, 25 in the second round, top scorer. There's no reason to think he won't keep doing it, but again, he's 5'10", so the legs might be giving out, and he doesn't have the long rest he had before. Mcgrath at 6'7", we'll see if it affects him or not. And they gave him a little bit of a false start. Mcgrath wasn't even ready. He wasn't even out on the floor.
He was still taking a break. So here's your guy, Dan Mcgrath.
Psychological
Yeah, you guys are Brother Rice. So use every little tool trick you can there.
Absolutely. Ask the guys at Losser about that back in '84.
Now he's got the height. You're talking about that edge.
Doesn't have to use as much legs.
There we go. Already.
He's already in the hole.
Look at this. 2-0 edge already for Mills over Mcgrath.
Now Mcgrath didn't get anything on that first rack. Now he's got 1, and Mills still at 2.
Now Mills a little cold now. Now he's got back on track with 3.
Really, if either guy gets into a rhythm, and Mcgrath hits the 2-ball to get the tie. And this is where Mills started getting hot before, up top. And Mcgrath's keeping up with him. It's a low-scoring battle, but it's an even battle.
Yep, and that's a big one there for Mills hitting the 2.
And Mcgrath got 1 there, 2. He's still down 2. Now he's down 3. They got to hit the 2-ball there, which he does. Gets it to within a point.
Yep. Mills hitting his first on the last one. And it's a 1-point game right now.
Now it's a
All
tie.
tied up, and there comes Mills now with the last shot. Will not go, but Mills wins it.
by a point.
By 1 point, 13 to 12.
Well, now they took one down on him. Wait, we thought he won, but they just changed the score. They might have a shootout.
Let's take a look and see if the count was right. They may have a shoot-off here.
They're going to have to shoot it off. It's officially a tie.
We may have another shootout with the two finalists.
Well, now do they do what the NBA does, which is a 24-second shootout instead of a 60-second? Or, this has never happened before here.
This hasn't happened. And it's interesting to see what they're going to do as Jim Feldkamp, as you see him talking to the two players. And,
everybody had put all the racks away, too, getting ready for the slam dunk, and now they got to bring them back out.
Yep. So they'll have to re-rack, and because of that, we'll be right back with, again, a shootout for the finals as they tied 12-12. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
It's the way you inspire. It's the way you grow. It's the way you lead. It's the way you play. It's the way you work. It's the way you discover. TCI. It's the way you learn.
It's the way you learn.
Welcome back to Troy High School. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson now for another shootout between the two finalists. They tied at 12, and here we go.
Once again,
John Mills.
John Mills right there, Dan Mcgrath the other side.
Joe's going with Mcgrath, his brother Rice.
The Warriors got to stick together.
Yep. In and out for Mills.
Yeah, it's the same start as we had before. Neither guy hitting anything, and now Mills gets one, and so does Mcgrath.
Yep. Mills hitting again on the last one, and
both hit the two-point ball.
Mills now getting back that touch that he had in the finals. He's up to 7.
McGrath with the 2-ball here, can't get it, and he's only down 3. Again, neither guy lighting it up like they did in the early prelims.
Yeah. But Mills is getting hot. He's up to 10.
McGrath hit 3 in a row, or almost 4 in a row. Couldn't get the 2
Mills
ball.
hits the 2.
And McGrath in a bit of a hole. He's got to get on a roll right now, or Mills is going to run away. And now Mills has a score that's going to be hard to beat.
Mills showing why he was the leader in both rounds.
McGrath's got to hit every shot on the last rack and hope Mills doesn't hit any. Now it's over.
Mills hit. And he's got time, 5 seconds now.
Well, both guys have beaten their scores from the previous round.
Yep. And there's the last one for 2. And
20 to 15.
Even on a bad round, Mills hits 20 to win the 3-point competition over Dan Mcgrath as the players shake hands at half court. And Jim Feldkamp, the organizer of this event, along with the Troy Community Coalition, shakes their hands. And Joe, pretty exciting here in the 3-point. We haven't seen anything like that.
First time I can remember seeing two guys have to go to a shoot-off. And that, fortunately, this time it wasn't a 12-12 tie. It was 2 guys with good scores, and John Mills with 20, a very good winning score.
And stick around. We'll be back for the very exciting slam dunk contest as the players start to warm up for that one. And we'll be right back with that. Stay with us.
Oakland Press Perspective with Neil Monroe is an informative talk show that discusses issues often overlooked by broadcast stations. Neil Monroe, the editor of the Oakland Press newspaper, will keep you abreast on hot topics, events, and issues taking place in Oakland County. So for news you can use, join Neil Monroe every week on the Oakland Press Perspective, Friday night at 8:30 on TCI 63.
And welcome back to Troy High School, where we will start our slam dunk contest. And we will take a look at the finalists real quick after we see our first slam dunk attempt right here.
Elvin Jones from Ferndale, and that's the dunk he used in the first round, and it works again. He did a one-hander the first time, and he actually looks disappointed with it, but a very impressive dunk.
A nice job by Elvin Jones. He had the best dunk of the day, but He also followed up with the worst. There's a nice one. And that got his point total down.
And the one difference between the dunk and the three-point contest is that your first round points carry over, so you have to add on to it. So he has to score, for example, 6 more points than Shane Battier does in the finals to jump ahead of Shane. And now Jason Whalen, well, he's, that's not quite the Cedric Ceballos disappearing act, but it works anyway, even though he sees through it. And
we saw through
you
it
get
too.
points for creativity, I guess.
He tore his shirt. He put 2 holes in the shirt so he could see where he's going. And,
well, that's big in Walled Lake. This guy's from Walled Lake Central. It's big over there.
So he gets the slam. And so Jason Whalen takes a seat. And now we move up Chuck Mondo from West Bloomfield.
Chuck Mondo, one of the top players in the west side of the county, and he's going off the he's going off the wall, literally.
Yeah, he's off the wall. He was off the wall really in his first few shots too.
Let's take a look at this. Oh, nice toss.
Oh, look at that!
And that's got the crowd going, and he reacts to it. And I'll tell you what, anybody not impressed with that doesn't know much. That's hard, just making the toss and getting it to come back. And a 55.7 on that dunk for Jason Elvin Jones, by the way, 56.1 on his.
So those were the scores previously.
These judges are tough.
To the first 2 slam dunks. And now Robert Brown will come up and take the stage here from Oak Park.
Or a 58.5. I'm sorry, I got shown. I was reading the wrong thing. 58.5 for Chuck Mondo. And yeah, that is the top dunk we've seen so far in the finals.
Robert Brown was impressive in the preliminaries.
Oak Park, only a sophomore. And at 6'2", the right height to really impress the judges.
He put out the lights here.
It's hard to get up that high.
Just when he slammed it, a light went out here at Troy High School.
Here to shoot the lights out.
Yeah. He slammed it so hard.
And remember, folks, this guy's 6'2". Look where he takes off from, and look how high above the rim he got.
You could see the light go out. That flash there was not a photographer. It was the light going out right when he slammed.
All right, well, hey, here this guy led Southfield Lathrop to the state final game. He's going to be playing for Duke next year. Mike Chappelle, his brother Mark, won it in 92. His teammate last year, Craig Urquhart from Southfield Lathrop, won it in 95. Robert Brown, by the way, with the 53.7 on his dunk. There's a lot to live up to here for Mike Chappelle, just family bragging rights.
Chappelle.
Now where did he take off from?
I don't know. We'll see it again. And he hit that one hard. Let's take a look.
Look at the extension.
He's flying. Inside where he comes from the free throw line.
Only a step inside.
Bit, yeah.
I mean, it's not quite the Brent Berry thing, but not many high school kids can even think about doing that.
It's some distance.
Chappelle at 6'8". Last year, the first guy ever to get into the finals of both the slam dunk and the three-point. This year, he only entered the slam dunk. But very impressive on his first dunk here, and 57.6 for Mike Chappelle.
Here's DeAndre Shepard from Oak Park.
DeAndre Shepard and Robert Brown, I bet they had a little fun after practice was over. Back, a little team dunk contest thing.
He was also impressive, too, in the preliminaries. And a slap of the backboard,
but the theatric thing, it helps a little bit.
Yeah,
but
not enough.
Again, because the points carry over, he doesn't have to score as high as, say, an Elvin Jones does. But still, probably not going to be enough to jump ahead of a Chappelle. And your last 2 guys coming up, Jamel Gooding and Shane Battier, there's a reason they're leading, because they were so good in the first round. All they have to do is keep up what they were doing. Jamel Gooding, a sophomore, get used to watching this, because you're going to see it for 2 more years.
Coming up next, here he is, Jamel Gooding.
Again, at worst, this guy's the second best sophomore in Oakland County. Maybe the best, but he's right. He and Dane Fife, I think, are your top 2 sophomores. And Andre Shepard with a 52.8 on that previous dunk.
Yeah, that's what they were waiting for, that final score before we could move on now.
Oh! Would have been sweet.
That would have been nice. We'll get another attempt.
And so you can't stay in the air for that long. Let's see what he does here. You're allowed one takeover, and this is it.
Oh, another nice attempt, but it just wouldn't go for Jamel Gooding, who was second behind this guy coming up, Shane Battier.
Yeah, and Jamel Gooding, only a sophomore, maybe a little bit of the nerves, but like I said, get used to seeing it. You got 2 more years of him, and now this guy, you got 1 more year after this, a junior, the best junior in the country, Shane Battier, and say it every year, if you don't know who he is, you're way behind.
Shane Battier now to slam. He's got the lead in terms of first 2 rounds.
All right, let's see what he does. Oh, my. Oh.
Make no doubt about it.
A little authority, and I'll tell you what, he's from Country Day, and the Chris Webber comparisons ended after his freshman year basically because they're totally opposite players. Shane is a more finesse player. He's actually got more skill than Chris Webber. Webber's more of a power player. Well, here's some power from a finesse guy.
Look at that.
Some serious power there, and tell you, the funny thing is he's 6'8", which is a disadvantage because you've got to come up with some theatrics. He also doesn't have the normal advantage that a 6'8" guy has in having huge hands. His hands, I put my hand up against his. We have the same size hand. I'm 6'2". He can't palm the basketball. So he's got to do all that two-handed stuff. And very impressive. Jamel Gooding, by the way, got a 34.2. He didn't make his dunk. Shane, 57.8. And after the first round, he's pretty much in the lead.
He pretty much ensures himself a big lead.
And now each guy gets 1 more dunk. So we go back to the start, Elvin Jones. And Elvin really hurt by the miss he had in the prelims that you didn't see. He's got to come up with something spectacular. He already did his best dunk the first time around. I don't think you want to overdo the same dunk.
Here he goes.
Well, he is doing the same thing.
Way up. Off the glass.
You know what? He should have gone with it off the glass. It would have been more spectacular.
He could have still gone with that.
Let's see. Tell you, I've never seen anybody throw the ball from so far away.
Caught up with it and just couldn't get it down.
You get to take one over. I don't think the previous one, just the toss, qualifies for the takeover. He should get to go again, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'll get 1 more. He'll get 1 more.
Yeah, because he didn't even try the other one, so this is his takeover.
So, Elvin Jones from Ferndale.
And now he's at midcourt. Let's see how high this toss goes. To the ceiling. Oh, the shirt goes off. This is from last year.
Yeah.
And
he did it again.
Now, looking for his buddy Rashad Phillips right there. And don't know if it'll be enough to get him ahead of the guys from the prelims, but so far, the most theatrical dunk we've seen.
Yeah. Look at that. There it is. Elvin Jones. He had by far the best slam dunk of the night in the preliminaries, but it didn't help him.
He's only a junior.
He's only a junior. Didn't help him on his next dunk.
He basically laid in his next dunk because he just didn't get a good leap on it. But
and did not get a good score. This time he gets a great score.
59.9, which means 1 of the 6 judges gave him a 9.9. Everybody else gave him a 10.0. I bet you Cosmo ripped him off. I'm telling you right now, because Cosmo doesn't know what he's talking about. But that's the best dunk we've seen so far in the finals. And now Jason Whalen.
Jason Whalen went there. Now here we go with Chuck Mondo here.
Yeah, so apparently our order is a little messed up.
No, Jason Whalen went during the replay, and here Chuck Mondo will try again.
By the way, Elvin Jones' final total, 169.2. So just keep that in mind that somebody's got to beat a grand total of 169.2. And maybe you ought to get a different ball.
No, it's not working out for him.
Get a ball with more air if that's not bouncing high enough for you. Here you go.
The one Elvin Jones got.
There is a time limit. I think they're going to make him go. And the fans are getting on him now. Now you got to do something spectacular. You're going to lose it all. Well, there you go.
There's spectacular for you.
There you go. Put the pressure on yourself and then come through.
So Chuck Mondo, with the pressure on him, comes up with a nice one here, Joe.
Yeah, Chuck Mondo, 6'3" senior from West Bloomfield, comes down with it, and two-hander, a very popular alley-oop to yourself. And that's going to bring up Robert Brown. Robert Brown from Oak Park. Again, just a sophomore. Got a feeling 2 years from now we're going to see Robert Brown and Jamel Gooding going head-to-head.
You sure will. Amazing how so young these days these guys can go up there and slam with the seniors. Here's a sophomore.
Would have been nice. Well, hey, Battier, this is his third year and his third trip to the finals. Of course, when you're basically the best in the country, that's you. And Chuck Mondo finishes 168.6, which means as of right now, again, the leader in the clubhouse for golf term, Elvin Jones. And still going to be Elvin Jones.
Yep. Robert Brown did not make it on his last attempt, and that'll move us up to
Chappelle.
Mike Chappelle.
And Mike Chappelle had the almost the Brent Berry thing, not quite the free throw line, but about the same distance as you see the miss there. About the same distance if you've watched the NBA over the years when Sean Kemp used to enter it and claimed to be doing the free throw line dunk. Chappelle was going from the distance that Sean Kemp was. Not a bad dunk. Remember, Sean Kemp's about 6'10", 6'11". This guy's 6'8".
6'8" senior heading to Duke University.
And yeah, there's been a couple Duke guy playing around here somewhere. Pretty good player, I think.
Yeah.
Following his footsteps.
Oh, nice 360, but it just wouldn't fall for Mike Chappelle. He'll get one more.
Here's his do-over.
He's asking the audience if they want to see that one again.
I think he was making sure he got another dunk, too. He was looking at over at the officials here. Oh,
and he did it.
Same dunk.
Close to the same dunk. Mike Chappelle, let's take a look.
Take a look.
As he goes airborne.
One leg, 360, turn around, get it to go. And you've got to do that kind of spectacular thing if you're 6'8", because the people do hold it against you.
Yep. Not an easy slam. Now moving up to the next contestant.
Well, DeAndre Shepard. And it's going to be hard for him to beat Elvin Jones. We'll just say that. I think he needs more than a perfect score. But he doesn't know that, so let's see what he can do.
DeAndre has the ability. He had the spectacular dunks in the preliminaries. Missed that one.
I'm going to catch that.
Ball bounced right out to Joe Abramson.
Almost. Almost knocked over Ken Phillips' Coke.
Which is still full, by the way. He's so busy.
He's working
helping
hard.
us.
The hardest working man in show business.
That's right.
And now Mike Chappelle is leading at 171.2.
There we go. So Shepard makes sure his slam counts here.
We've got two guys left, as you'll see the replay of Shepard's dunk. He's not going to jump ahead of Chappelle. You got Jamel Gooding and Shane Battier, the final two to beat Mike Chappelle. Battier needs, when it comes up to him, he needs a 54.7 to win it. Gooding, not sure what he needs, but here he goes.
Here's Jamel Gooding. On deck, Shane Battier.
Jamel again, just a sophomore.
Oh!
And he's lucky that didn't go in.
Almost.
If that goes in, it counts for his dunk.
And I don't think that's what they want.
Yeah, so now he gets to have his takeover. DeAndre Shepard, by the way, finishes up 162.3. Well, all right, so Jamel Gooding's not going to win it now. It's one guy.
Goes out.
Basic.
It's down to Shane Battier.
Shane Battier, if he gets a 54.7 or higher, he wins it. If he doesn't, Mike Chappelle wins it.
So down to two of your best players in Michigan basketball today.
Your top two, really.
Yeah.
Or at least in Oakland County. This is Mr. Basketball next year. Oh! Well, that would have won the contest.
Yeah. He sure made that net feel at home. I think one of the...
Yeah, they might want to fix that net before he...
know if the officials can see it. We can see it from here.
Well, I guess he doesn't care. I just hope the ball doesn't pop out. Oh! Now let's see what he gets. It wasn't the thunderous dunk.
No, it was a windmill type.
It's close. 54.7 is the magic number.
But impressive nonetheless. Let's see if he can get that magic number to beat Mike Chappelle. There it is.
And waiting out for the judges, basically local newspaper writers who have never dunked before in their lives, or this man's fate is in their hands.
Yeah, we have the advantage of looking at it a number of times, and the judges don't. They can only judge it on that one time. We can look at it on replay.
Shane Battier, 173.3, is your slam dunk champion. Mike Chappelle comes in second, 171.2.
So there you go. The champion, Shane Battier, right there. You see him. We'll take away the trophy, and we'll be back with the awards presentation right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
And welcome back to Troy High School. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson. Joe Abramson has our finalists, our winners down there. And Joe, take it away.
All right, well, hey, one of the closest battles we've had this year, or any year, in both events, the three-point contest for the first time ever went down to a shootout between these two guys, John Mills, who led after every round, and Dan Mcgrath, kind of the dark horse. You don't expect the guys that are 6'7" to do it. We'll go to John first. What happened as far as, how'd you get so hot early, breaking 20 in every round except for that final round when you had to go to the shootout?
Well, the first two rounds, I had my stamina or whatever you call it, and then the third round I just got tired, and that's when I went broke or whatever you say. And then after that 5-minute break, I just felt better again, got a drink, and then shot good again, I guess.
All right, and that got him the victory. And Dan, at 6'7", do you think your height helped you any? You don't have to use your legs as much as guys this height. Was that a factor for you in keeping your stamina throughout the contest?
It could be, but I don't know. Shooting's shooting. I don't know if height has anything to do with it, but if people think it is, maybe it is, but to tell you the truth, I don't, and it's all about shooting.
Well, you were one of only 4 guys to be in both. Did you think you were going to do better in the three-point than you were going to do in the dunk?
Yes, I did. The dunk contest, I didn't have a great showing, but it was fun to be in there. But it definitely, my confidence was at a higher level for the three-point.
And then you came up to this guy, and again, you weren't missing. I don't know if you know this, but the 25 points you scored ties the record for the best round ever scored at this competition ever. So were you pretty confident coming in with that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, hey, we're going to let you guys go. Bring in the slam dunk guys right now. Shane Battier, the champion, and Mike Chappelle, who came in second place. And tell you, Mike Chappelle's score most years would have won this thing, and he came up against Shane. What kind of pressure was there on you, considering Craig Urquhart last year won it, and I know you got a little family thing at home with your brother who won it a few years ago. Did you feel a little pressure to win this?
Nah, not really. This is like a fun event, It's like a stress reliever coming in from the season just ending, So we're just out here trying to have fun.
All right, now, last year you were the first guy ever to get into the finals of both the slam dunk and the three-point. This year you didn't even enter the three-point. Was that your decision?
No, the coach entered one of my teammates, It was a good thing to do. I'm glad he did it, because he didn't really see a lot of playing time this year. So.
All right, well, now, you had a great year at Southfield Lathrop, best season that team's ever had. Now you go on to Duke University. You going to try and bring a little of that Grant Hill tradition from Michigan to North Carolina this time?
Yeah, I plan to.
All right, well, good luck. And now we'll talk to a guy that a year from now, hopefully, we'll know where he's going. Right now, he's at Country Day. Shane Battier, back-to-back state championships. Top player next year in the state, probably Mr. Basketball, and the Oakland County Slam Dunk champ. After 3 tries, it's a little relief to finally win it.
Oh, yeah. My whole attitude coming into this is just have fun. I mean, it's for charity. It's a great event. It's a lot of fun, and I just came here trying to have a lot of fun.
I now don't want to get on you too much. What happened in the three-point contest?
I just wasn't feeling it. It's a lot different. It looks harder than it really is on TV. You see these guys shooting, but I did my best, and I'm happy with that.
All right, well, let's go to your dunks in the finals. Your first dunk, tell us about what you did there.
Well, I never did that dunk before in my life. In the warm-ups, I felt good, so I said, hey, why not try it? You know, it's for fun. So I got kind of mad and just took off from inside the free throw line and double clutched it.
All right, now your second dunk, you had to have a score of 54.7 or higher, and you missed the first shot at it. This last shot here, you make it or miss it, you win or lose. Tell us what was going through your mind here.
Well, I knew going in that last dunk, after I missed my first one, if I missed it, I was out. So I wanted to go back to my bread and butter, what I did earlier, the double clutch, and I knew that I could get it because I was feeling it, even though my legs were a little tired. But I just put everything I had in that last dunk, and I got it.
All right, so now you're going for the three-peat as a team thing, and are you going for back-to-back dunks next year too?
I don't know. I think the three-peat would be nice, but also a three-point championship would be nice.
All right, and just so we can look like we're doing our job, let's get out of the way. You have not decided where you're going to college yet.
I have not decided. A couple weeks from now, coaches and I and my parents will sit down and further discuss it.
All right, so everybody reading everything in the paper, don't believe what you're reading. The only school he knows that he's going to is Country Day next year.
Exactly.
All right, well, hey, congratulations. It's a great way to cap off your junior year, and hopefully we'll see you again next year, and we'll be talking to maybe the two-time slam dunk champion, a three-point champ, and definitely Mr. Basketball next year, Shane Battier, the 1996 Oakland County Slam Dunk champion. Now we'll send it back to Dave Zorn.
Thanks, Joe. You didn't really put that much pressure on Shane saying all those things, did you, Joe? Now let's take a look at the results in the three-point contest. As you see, John Mills and Dan Mcgrath on top. They were the ones who had the shootout after tying at 12. And in the final, it was 20-15, and John Mills ending up the winner. Now in the slam dunk, the results there, as you see, the two guys that Joe talked to, Shane Battier with 173.3 combined total, and Mike Chappelle coming in second place with a 171.2 total. And coming in second place, Elvin Jones and the rest, as you see there in the slam dunk results. Coming up in June, basketball is not over, folks. We'll have the Oakland Macomb All-Star Basketball Battle of the Stars 3. And don't forget to tune in for that one. That'll be sometime late June, so tune in for that one. And that'll do it for us here for the three-point slam dunk contest. This is Dave Zorin for Joe Abramson and for all of our TCI crew. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you for the Oakland Macomb All-Star Basketball game coming up in June. Thanks, and good night.